So in this video, we are going to be installing the head. Already have it completed, but I was editing or trying to catch up on videos, and then I realized that it was going to be too long. So this is where the next video starts. It's literally the same day when I made that video. So installing the head and putting it together and showing you guys how to put a 99 head all the way together. I appreciate it, and stay tuned. I brought it back inside, started cleaning it up. Got some of this crusty black stuff, carbon buildup removed. Got the head looking nice, flattened it out, got all the junk off of it. I got the water neck off of my other engine because I plan on using this. Put a new gasket on there because I finally got my other gasket set for this engine. Next we're going to be pulling this off. It's the back of the thermostat from this engine, cleaning it up, and then slapping the new one on. I've been using this one, and now I gotta re-pull this one and put it on the other one because, well, can't use that head with the setup I'm trying to run. So I didn't record the last part of me putting, this on. Took it off the other head, pulled off the other head that's now sitting on the ground over there. I just need to clean the top side, just kind of have stuff stacked on top of it so it doesn't blow over. Figured it'd be best to kind of keep that all out of the way. So got this all stacked in. I started doing the valve stem seals because I already have the engine torn apart, might as well do it. And these are all corroded just because of, well, it's being stuck in lime and then, well, sitting outside forever, so they're just kind of like hard. So they weren't done anything. And I already had the parts for it, which I just need to do this one. And here's the new valve stem seals because I had to order another head for it and a gasket set. So have that sitting right there. Gonna do this last one. The trick is I grabbed a, what size is it? 13/16 socket, cut it on both sides. Made this side a little bit bigger so I can get into the hole, and so press down on it, and there's two little clips as you can see right there. I'm going to try to point at them. So there's clips right there, and I'm just going to try to record it, and you press those down, put a magnet inside of there, and it will take those two clips out. I'm going to record it. Just want to let you guys know that I actually did do the valve stems because I don't want smoking on start, because I think this one was already doing that. So, and if I have the engine already pulled apart, might as well do it. So let me show you what I do, and then we'll figure out what's next. So this is a setup to do valve covers or the valve stem seals. So I just got a big C-clamp, and I cut into this, the 3/16 that fits right on top of it, and I just start wrenching down on it, and as you can tell, look in there, you can see the actual seat or the clamps that actually hold the top hat or the top in. So I'm gonna try to set this light up. That ain't gonna work, but anyways, hopefully there's enough light. You start twisting down on it and it removes them. And because I have big hands, hold on, let me find the actual magnet. So you grab a magnet and put it inside of there, and they automatically just stick to it. There's one. Now all I need to do is grab the other one, and everything will just come right off. So, well, that one's not coming, so just twist it down a little bit more, and boom, it's on. And then everything should just come right off. I suggest doing this while the head's off. If you're gonna rebuild an engine, just makes it easier. But let me show you what happens next. So as you can tell, untwist it, and because it's a spring located right there, you don't really just want to pull it off. Magnet again, this comes right out. and that comes right out, as you guys can see. And then I just push the valve right down, and that comes right out. Really haven't cleaned these that much. I kind of just scrape it with my finger to try to get most of the big stuff off of it. Doesn't look that bad. So if you look right there, let's see if I can point it at. So this right here comes off, and some people suggest grabbing pliers and doing it. I just grab a flathead and kind of pry up on it. Let me see if I can zoom out. So you can kind of just pry up on it. Try and do this with one hand, and through the camera is not easy. Trying to pry up on it and it'll pop out. Just don't put too much pressure. So it kind of just sits right underneath it, and just pull it up. You don't want to put too much pressure on it because you don't want to scrap the stem itself. So that's what I've been doing. And then you slide the new one on with a little bit of grease through there, and when you push this through, it'll grease up the whole entire, the whole entire thing. You want a little bit of grease on it. You don't want too much. But again, I am using engine assembly lube, which ain't gonna hurt that much. It's all gonna dissipate eventually. So I'm gonna take this off and show you what an old one looks like and what a new one looks like. Well, next thing I'm gonna do is I am going to put a little bit of the engine assembly lube on here on the inside. So when I actually push the valve in, it gets all lubed up. Don't want to scratch it. I get my magnet, extend it out, put it on the side, and kind of just roll it on there, and then I put my finger down there and press it on. You can kind of feel it like a dull pressing, where it'll sit down onto it. So let's sit down onto it, grab my valve, and just feed it up into that hole underneath, and boom, it's in. So next is put in the spring. Make sure the actual push together spring goes down into it first, all the way. Make sure it sits on an O-ring, or that ring. Make sure that ring's sitting perfectly. Come down here, let it sit down, and then next I usually grab a rag and I push this back to where it sits, or pushes the valves up. So once I get this set down in there, now you kind of feed them like that, so it makes it easier on me. Push it on, and then you grab this. Make sure it's big enough to fit your finger in there. As you can tell, I should have made this one a little bit wider, but I doled up the sides to where it doesn't hurt as badly. And then I put a little bit of pressure and then push those rings down in there. Make sure that this right here, there's a little lip, as you can tell. Make sure that's up and it'll fit in there. So I ended up getting the cam caps all lined up properly. I finally, after about 2 hours of searching, I found out, you see those little markings right there where it says E5? They need to be in the opposite direction. So if you read the E this way, it needs to be towards the back. So if you're looking at the front of the engine, they'll look like this. So where it'll be like the E and then 5 backwards. That's what I found on the forums. Hopefully this works. Again, I'm putting on a different cam than what came with it. I'm hoping it doesn't shred the engine because I just put all this work into it. So pray for me in the sense. I also put the engine assembly lube all over the cams. So for example, let me pull one of these off real quick and lay it down. If I could get this off, one-handed's never easy. So there you go. This goes back here. So grab the engine assembly lube. I'm just putting this on just because, well, this was in water. It's better to put it on there and be safe than sorry. So just put a little bit on there like that, and then I put a little bit on top of every part. So do that for every single one, maybe not as much, and also to the front. And then put the cams in there. and there's a certain order you're supposed to tighten them down, and I'm going to look that up real quick and then tighten each one, the cams actual down. I'm also going to put the cam seal up front and also on both sides and oil all this up. I'll get back to you once I'm ready to actually put it on the engine head, and I'm going to clean up all these cylinder walls with a little bit of brake cleaner. It ain't going to damage it that much, or not at all. It's brake cleaner, it evaporates pretty quickly. So I already cleaned these set. I'm going to start working on this, putting it together. I'll get back with y'all when I'm done. Also, one thing, I'm going to put oil on top of the cams because I am going to have to rotate these to line them up. So put a little bit of oil on there, or the assembly, engine assembly lube. You can get this at O'Reilly's and whatnot. Put a little bit on top. It's going to rotate. It's going to come out nicely. I'm just hoping I don't remark these in the sense of where it starts chipping metal. And then also, after about 50 miles or 15 miles, I'm going to change the oil in the oil filter, so it should get all the oil out. I'm not going to use anything special, probably Pennzoil, some cheap stuff just to clean all the engine out, clean up all the parts. I'm not even going to run it for that long, maybe about 5 miles max to 10, and then I'm going to do an oil change and put the good oil in there so I can actually rely on this engine a little bit more. But now I'm going to get back to it. Gonna slap this together and then I'll get back with y'all. So I ended up getting this all prepped for putting the head on. The cams are on, tightened. The crank pulleys, I need to tighten those up. I'm going to do that after I put it onto the engine. I just don't need to forget that. And then also got this all prepped where I just need to rotate this to do alignment. I have this getting ready to, well, I sprayed some adhesive on there so it adheres to the actual head. I've never really used this stuff or really got it, but it's supposed to help it seal, and that's what I'm hoping. Had it prepped. I just touched the sides, especially right here, since it's not a part of the engine in this sense, or the head gasket. So, and it's getting tacky, it's not there yet. Next, I'm going to put the head on, and then after I get the head on, I'll get back with y'all. So I got the head put on the Miata. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Luckily, I have those 2 alignment pins already in the block, so the head just slides on there. Also, I didn't tighten down the head bolts yet, but I use this, which is amazing. Literally just use this just to bring the bolts down, and it doesn't put that much torque on it. If you're doing a bunch of heads, I suggest getting it. I forgot I had this thing and then I remembered it. So pretty quick, pretty simple. But now I'm going to tighten down the bolts. I'm going to look up the torque specs. I just want to torque this down, have everything sitting, let it sit, and let it to get where it needs to be. And then I'll get back with y'all and we'll probably start doing the timing and tightening up these cam bolts, because they need to be tightened, and probably get the front pulley put on. So I got the head on and all bolted up, and you have to rotate. Once you have it all lined up, you have to rotate it 3 times. And I did a little bit more of that because I was testing compression, as you can tell. It's not like a verified way to test compression, but if you want to see if your heads actually have compressions, or not your head, your actual pistons, is you can put your thumb right there, or your palm. Oh my gosh, let me put your palm right there and rotate the crank, and once it goes back down and pulls back up, if it blows out your hand, it has halfway decent compression. It's just a simple test to make sure the head was on properly, and it is. Also, let me show you another thing. As you can tell from right there, that is where you want to start counting the teeth in between the cam gears, and it ends right there. There's another little notch in it, so you count from right here all the way over to this one, the last tooth where that cam is. And if you have 19 teeth right there, that means you have it in correct timing. And also, if there is a notch right there, it lines up with that. So the I lines up with the I, the E lines up with the E, and you're good. So in theory, again, I have done this wrong multiple times where I turned it on, didn't run right, but in theory, this is in time. It's timed. In theory. So I hope it is. I think it is. Next, we're going to start putting on the bolts, or put the ejectors in. On this side, the intake is probably not going to be done today. I need to create another video on cleaning this intake, because this intake, again, I pulled this out of someone's backyard and rats got into the cylinder head, as you saw when I cleaned it. So next, we are going to be bolting on the injectors, and let me show you that. So the head's officially bolted on. Just so you guys know, the way you start it out is you go up to 60. I went 30, 40, 35, 45, 60. But you start with, while you're looking at the engine from right here, start on the center one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, center. So 3, then you go over here, and then it's just a big circle. So you literally go out, go right there, go to this one, go to that one, go to 4, 4 on the exhaust side, and you rotate out. I'm using a 1.6 fuel hat, or fuel pressure regulator, but I had it mounted backwards because this one's set right there for whatever reason. Hopefully it still works. I think it will. If not, if I get fuel cut or if it's just lagging out, I have another 1.6 that I could use, but hopefully this one works. And that's all mounted up. I also mounted the front crank pulley. It's not fully on. I'm going to wait until it's in the engine and then tighten it down a little bit more. This is on the alternator. Again, this is a 1.8. I'm using a 1.6 mounting bracket just because it's a little bit easier on me. And then I'm about to mount the water pump pulley back on there because, well, that needs to be done. And then I need to also do the power steering, which I'll probably rip off of the car I have, and the AC, which will probably come off the engine that's inside the car, or probably tomorrow I'll mount it. It's something simple. Again, I'm using 1.6 mounting brackets. I got the cover just in case I ever need to get it timed, and well, that's about it. I mean, the engine's come together pretty nicely. Luckily, this is the last time I'm putting it together, so it's gonna run great. Hopefully, I think it will. But I'm gonna bolt up a couple more things, and that's it. I appreciate you guys watching the video. It's probably a quick video just because, well, I ran through this last time. It's kind of Frankenstein build using 1.6 stuff and 99 engine block, but everything else is like 96. So, or 93 is what I mean. But I appreciate you guys watching, and remember, never give up. Bye.